One of the things that I love to do the most when it comes to building a Lego business is get to know other Lego investors. And I love to sit down, talk shop, learn about other Lego investors and what they're doing and how things have been growing for them. And that's what we're going to do here today. I'm here with Kevin from Clocks Collectibles. We're going to talk about Lego investing, his journey so far. Kevin from Michigan. Kevin, thank you for being here. How are you?
I'm doing well. Good morning, Shane. Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to chat with you and the folks at home.
Yeah. I'm pumped, man. I'm pumped. We obviously go back a while. You're inside of the communities and everything, and we've talked quite a lot, but we've never actually sat down and talked about your journey holistically. So I'm actually really pumped to just learn a bit more about how you've gotten to where you are right now. To kind of set the stage, I guess, for everyone watching, Kevin has built his Lego investing business up to around 30K right now in inventory. He's also started a Bricklink store, which he's kind of actively growing, and that's a focus for this year. We're going to dig in on Lego investing, Bricklink parts, Walmart selling, which is a goal, and all sorts of other stuff. But to bring it all back and start from the beginning, Kevin, you let me know that you started reselling with other items, with books, with DVDs, with video games. So let's just take it back and kind of talk about your background in e-commerce. Like, where did it all begin for you?
Yeah, thanks for setting the table here, Shane. I've been a fan of all things e-commerce for quite a while. Both in jobs and in my personal life. Was kind of got into the online marketplace back in 2014 with a previous job. During that time, I was selling some Pokemon and Magic cards on a TCG player. That kind of got my appetite going. But yeah, as far as Lego is concerned, while we were all stuck at home during that one time of the year, a couple of years ago, I really, was like, hey, let's get back to that Lego thing. I was a kid, in the 90s, and I had some awesome pirate sets, and I wanted to rekindle that, and I rediscovered my love of Lego.
Yeah. I think COVID was just an amazing time for so many people to get that nostalgia going and get back into it. And so Magic the Gathering, Pokemon gave you a kind of an outlook on what is possible with reselling, what is possible with e-commerce, but also what is possible when there's a super collectible kind of approach to a hobby and a nerdy hobby where people really get into and really kind of hone in on finishing their collections and how it can impact values of things, right? Because we can see in those areas, and if you're a Pokemon card collector, there is a lot of similarities to Lego where something becomes scarce and then values start to rise. So you really kind of got an idea of the whole world of collectibles at that time. And how long, did you do that for a couple of years, or kind of how long were you doing trading cards for?
Yeah, so I got introduced to Magic the Gathering probably 2010 or so. I mean, I got the bug big time, started traveling all over the US and a couple of international trips to actually play competitively. That flame died a couple of years, after that. And what do I do with the extra cards? Well, I'm going to go ahead and sell them, recoup some of my value, hopefully, re-diversify into a couple things. And frankly, selling the majority of my collection kind of bankrolled things with Lego, bought some personally. I was like, wait a second, appreciation, turns out it happens with collectibles, with Lego, supply and demand 101. And that kind of dovetailed into kind of where I'm at now. And frankly, doing a bunch of YouTube investigations, I came across you, and here we are.
Yeah. So you went back to Lego because you wanted to build Lego first, and then you kind of stumbled upon the fact that the values rise. Was that right?
That's exactly right. I think I bought one of the old Avengers towers because I was rewatching all of the movies, and I was like, "Whoa, this used to be X amount of dollars. Now it's 60% more. What does this mean?" And it didn't take too long to realize that there could be a little bit of money to be made here.
Yeah, that's the exact same thing that happened to me. I'm on eBay searching for stuff that I used to build when I was younger, looking for stuff to build, realizing the prices are so inflated. Always kind of heard about it. Some, mentioned that Lego can become expensive, but never really kind of thinking about do all sets become expensive, or are there just exclusive ones out there that become expensive? Because I took a long time out of the game, so I was kind of out of the loop a little bit and had to kind of learn all of that stuff. And then it's almost just hits you like a ton of bricks when you realize, oh, almost all sets are on a retirement schedule and start to grow in value. And well, maybe not all start to grow in value, but all end up retiring at some point. So yeah, it's a big realization. And what was that, how long did it take you to be like, you know what, I think I want to start buying some of these sets for investing? Like, did it, like, was it a weekend of like binge eBaying like it was for me?
It was pretty darn quick. I went on a road trip, about 5-hour drive to the upper parts of Michigan, and I needed something to listen to, and I just went all in. I just listened to all the podcasts that you had put out, a couple YouTube videos, and then I started doing some audiobooks, economics and marketplaces, and I was hooked and started my first investing while I was up north. I plotted out a way home that would hit a couple Walmarts and Targets, and the closet got full pretty quickly.
Yeah, dove head first in.
I
mean, at least you took those hours to learn as much as you could. One of the big problems that we see is, it's so exciting early on that it can lead to people buying the wrong stuff right away, because you can't delay your purchasing when you're that excited about it, right? I was a victim to this as well when I first started. Like, everyone, I think, just wants to go out and start buying stuff, and only after you have already invested do you realize, oh, there was this trick I could have used to save 20%, and I didn't. Like, you start learning the tricks, and you're like, oh, I really missed out on that. Did any of that happen to you with your first early purchases?
100%. My credit card got to work out immediately. My area that I had designated mentally for space got filled up way too quickly. Turns out, and this is something I wanted to talk about, is you actually win when you purchase if you do it right. You build in the savings. I was buying stuff at MSRP. I was buying bad sets just because they're 20, 30, 40% off on Walmart clearance doesn't make them a good purchase. Right. So those are the type of mistakes I made. I'm sure that's common to, for everybody. But that's really the tuition you have to pay. The mistakes you make are actually, wins eventually down the road. So I had to learn that, and I'm sure that's not uncommon for everyone listening.
Yeah, dude, what you just said there is so crucial. It's crucial, but it's also something I don't know people who are early in the journey will like fully comprehend. So I'm going to repeat it because I think it's so crucial. It's like everyone who starts this game gets their first couple purchases wrong. Like, I don't know that I've ever seen anyone come in year one and just do everything right. And it's a rite of passage. Like you just said, that it's not really a mistake. It's a learning. And I love to remind myself that we are in the best time there ever has been to build a business, right? If you were building a business 40 years ago, even 30 years ago, what did you have to do to build your business? You had to wake up early in the morning. You had to go to the library and read about everything that you need to know about selling, about, how to get inventory and procurement. And, if you're trying to do a mail order business, because there was no like e-com like we have now, trying to sell to people all around the country, you're doing mail order, you have to learn how to do all that stuff and send out catalogs. But you're doing it all from the library, because the chances are you don't have a community easily accessible to you of people doing the same thing that you can just go and learn from. You don't have online videos and courses and podcasts that you can watch in your bed or on your toilet seat. You don't have the access to the marketplaces like Amazon, eBay, Bricklink, Walmart that we have, where they will bring you all your customers, right? So building a business 30 years ago was just a different ball game than what we have today. And yet people today still think that everything should be handed to them, right? In the first month, I need to be making money. And, you got to remember, most businesses take years to break even. Even Amazon broke even a couple of years ago, right? And and Tesla as well, like, we're making a loss for years and years before they ever broke even. And so Lego investing is a very forgiving game. It's a very forgiving business, because the inventory grows in value as well. So if you buy the wrong stuff, most of the time you just wait a little longer, sit on it, and then it'll eventually be profitable. Or, if it's not taking off fast enough, it'll be profitable another couple of months from now. If you can learn how to get stuff at such a good price that it just immediately it covers your risk, right? And so that you can get out even at cost price if you have to. So even if you choose wrong early on, you will make up for it, firstly. And secondly, it's not really wrong. It's not really a mistake because everyone has to pay their dues. You don't have to go to the library every day for a year to learn how to run your business. You can watch the courses or join the communities from your bed, but then you pay a little bit on a bad purchase and you pay your dues that way because you want to jump in and learn the lessons. And we all have to pay our dues in some way. So that first year of making mistakes in inventory it's really important, I think, for everyone to go through that rite of passage. But what's more important is to realize that it's necessary and then bounce back from it. And don't be like, oh, this game doesn't work. Instead, you need to be like, I made a couple of mistakes in my inventory, but I learned a lot. And now I'm going to go and learn from the masters who've been doing this for a couple of years and who are making money with it, so that I get better, right? And I improve, and we just constantly improve. So I wanted to take that sidebar because what you said was so powerful. And yeah, I think it's so important for people to really think about. So you mentioned you did books, DVDs and stuff. So how does that slot in here, right? So you had your trading card stuff. You rediscovered Lego around COVID. Was it somewhere in between there that you started doing other e-commerce stuff?
Yeah, that's exactly right. It takes a while to build that inventory and make it worth selling, obviously, for the retirement dates and whatnot. So in the interim, while I was doing my online research and video watching, I became quickly aware of, the introductory way, if you will, to get into Amazon was to sell media. I myself am a big book nerd, English major by trade. So I had some books around the house. I simply, saw what was valuable, signed up for Amazon. As some of you might know, it takes about a month to get on board with them. And then I sent out my first shipment of books and a couple DVDs. A couple I had to get ungated on, but basically tried out the Amazon process, all the fun that comes along with that. And then I made my first sale, and then I made my second sale the same day. And I was like, okay, I'm in. And then I kept refreshing my app every day.
Yeah, that's one of the best things about e-commerce is having an app on your phone where you can just see, money coming in. So did you continue that bit, like book selling, for a while, or did you kind of transition quickly into other items?
Yeah, so my main focus is Lego, of course, but sometimes it's a little cyclical. Sometimes it is, Q3, Q4, and a little bit of Q1. We like to call that Q5 in the group. January specifically, but leveraging books, I have a couple really good hookups locally, but leveraging books has helped me be less seasonal and get some sales throughout the year. So that's still a small part of my business, but it's not weighted 80% like it used to be. Now it's not, it's the minority. So it's still there.
Yeah. And it's like what you said it's such a good way to learn Amazon.
Yes.
And I've always recommended book selling as a way for anyone to learn Amazon. Especially if you're going to try and do FBA, because it lets you do shipments to Amazon. And for anyone who's not aware, FBA means fulfilled by Amazon. It's where you ship your inventory to Amazon in, like kind of big boxes in bulk, so that they can sell the items individually to customers. And then you don't have to ship to customers. You don't have to deal with customer support and stuff like that. But book selling is a great way to learn FBA, because books can be super cheap, and sometimes they're free. You have them in the books on your own bookshelves. Yep. A lot of the times they're gathering dust. There's people down the street who have books that they're trying to get rid of and recycle. They see it as trash. You can be the trash collector. You can literally put up an ad on Facebook Marketplace. I pick up books for free. I offer a service, and you can get inventory to sell on Amazon, right? And this is also how I started on Amazon. So I love hearing that your journey, because it's literally the exact same thing for us. We started Lego selling and book selling at a similar time, but we only sold Lego on eBay first. So we started our Amazon journey with books exclusively for a good few years. We really built it up. We even got a 3,000 square foot warehouse, and we had forklift, and we were doing truckloads of books, and really built that business up. And then pivoted the Lego to also be selling on Amazon and everything. So I have always recommended book selling to people who want to learn Amazon. It has changed a lot. You've probably felt this as well. Just this week, I hear there's also been massive changes that have impacted booksellers, with the buy box, used buy box going away, or switching from FBA sellers to, I don't actually know exactly what they did, but they made some big change impacting the book community. So we have friends some of the biggest booksellers in the country, actually, that we built relationships with when we had our warehouse, who have just had their businesses heavily impacted. So bookselling is, it's a great way to learn. But the reason we pivoted over to Lego is the margins are so much better. The return on investments are so much better. The prices grow over time. And books, they actually go the opposite direction because competition is endless on books, right? While you get a Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, 200 other people have also just sourced it and are listing at the same time as you, and the price is coming down. With Lego, obviously, the supply is finite. People can't replenish because the manufacturing has stopped. So it's very different. So now so it started off with more books and less Lego, and then over time you've started kind of pivoting it. Is that right?
Yeah, that's 100% correct. And I have seen some of the challenges, on Amazon in general, but yeah, with the books, with the media, it's very much a race to the bottom. But yeah, they're making it tougher just in general on the Amazon platform. So, that's why I'm possibly aspiring to take a look at Walmart as well, but we can talk about that another time. But yeah, it's interesting, but I do love Amazon, both professionally and personally. Simply having access to something like 170 million Prime members here in the U.S., something like 240 worldwide million. It's a massive audience, and I love that. And quite often, a lot of the good hits I have sell immediately. So I do love that, but there are challenges.
Agreed. Yeah, agreed. But the thing is, like, in spite of those challenges, I like to remind myself that the Lego market still exists, right? The Lego market is there, and it has to go somewhere. And so if you think about it, if we were able to step back from Amazon or from eBay, from Bricklink, any marketplace, and see the number of people in your country, and for us it's the US, that want to buy third-party Lego sets, right? They want to buy retired Lego sets. That is the overall third-party market. We can't see that because where are you ever going to get that data? But that number exists somewhere, right? That number is a thing. There is a certain number of people who are looking to buy retired sets out there. And that number of people will not be different if Amazon make things harder for us. If prices go up more on Amazon, if the supply changes on Amazon, if Amazon if they gate more, sellers, and then prices go higher, the audience of buyers is still there. It's still going to need to go somewhere. And if prices start getting too crazy on Amazon, those buyers are going to shift over to another platform. And that platform could be eBay. It could be Facebook Marketplace, or it could be Walmart, right? And it'll be whatever other platforms the supply is on. And so the demand, as long as that demand exists, I don't worry too much about any specific marketplace. Like, even if Amazon make it really hard, if they restrict all the sellers, what's going to happen is buyers are also going to go looking for the stuff in other places because Amazon is going to become too expensive. And so I can exist in the other place that buyers are going to. So as long as we have many other marketplaces that people are going to buy Lego sets, I'm not going to be too worried about Amazon. But I'm the same as you. I've also made the decision this year to diversify marketplace, right? And literally just have other options. I didn't get impacted by Amazon's regating before, in the holidays. But it was enough for me to remember that I hate that Amazon does this stuff. And I want to also sell on Walmart. I want to rebuild back up my eBay presence because eBay has been phenomenal as well. Like, prices on eBay are doing well.
Yeah.
So, eBay, Walmart, Amazon, it gives me a trio of different platforms that I can depend on. You've also diversified with Bricklink. So what was your Bricklink journey, and where does that kind of fit into everything?
Yeah, thanks for asking. It's somewhat similar to my journey starting on Amazon. I really got the Lego bug. I wasn't just buying brand new sets. I was scouring the various marketplaces locally, and I would find tons of used sets, bags of minifigures, that sort of thing. I just, Lego's great. So I was like, all right, what am I going to do with this? Obviously, I can't sell used minifigures on Amazon. I already had a little bit of a small eBay store that I had fun with selling personal stuff. So I was like, you know what? Let me sell on eBay, and let me build up a Bricklink store. It was exclusively used parts for the first year and a half. Made a couple sales a month, nothing too big. But I was like, you know what? What am I going to do with these additional damaged sets that I have, or missing used sets that have, 5 missing parts. I'm like, why not break them down into pieces and make a little bit of a Bricklink store too? So that's kind of how it worked. It was a nice outlet for, Series 23 minifigures and the Muppet minifigures and stuff like that. So I've been selling a lot of minifigures. I need to get my lot count up to sell my individual pieces, but that's kind of how it started. And like you said, the spirit of this whole thing is diversification as well. And that just gave me another lever to pull.
Yeah. Especially with platforms. Like over the years, I've reduced the amount of diversification I do in other ways. Like I've reduced the number of different sets that I would buy in a year, right? I go deeper instead of wider. Like that kind of reduces my diversification down. I've also reduced my diversification outside of Lego, right? Like when I first started, I would have thought I'll do Lego and stocks and real estate and cryptocurrencies, everything like equally. But I literally just made a video this week for the internal group for the Ignite membership around around going big on the thing that you're best at, right? And I really believe in that. And so I went way bigger on Lego than anything else. But then there are places where I still think diversification is really important, even after you've built up, you've gotten really good at your business. One of those things is making sure that in your business, you have like the systems that are most important that you rely on, like your sales system, like the marketplace you sell on, you have backups for it, right? Yep. And you're not dependent too much on any other third party to run your business. When you get to a world where if Amazon make a change tomorrow, your business is gone, you're in the wrong world, right? So that's not what we are. And the way like when we went through that gating stuff in November when we had our next Ignite call, right? And for anyone who's not aware, like inside of the Ignite Discord server, we have a monthly call where we kind of talk about what's working in the marketplace and what we're buying and our strategies. The way I kind of phrased it at the time was, we are not Amazon sellers. We're not eBay sellers. We're not Bricklink sellers. We are Lego sellers, right? We are sellers of Lego. It doesn't matter where we sell the stuff, because we need to be able to be flexible with that. So I think it's an important way to think about it, and to diversify platforms. If that means Bricklink, if that means Amazon, if that means eBay, Walmart, we have people in Ignite who are very successful with Facebook Marketplace as well. So there's a lot of, and also streaming, like Whatnot streams to sell Lego have become huge, really, really profitable ways to sell. So in terms of like your current way you look at your business then, right? So you've got Bricklink, which you've built up. You just mentioned that, you just started out kind of using it as a fallback for your investing business, but I know that you've built it a bit bigger since then, right? It's become like a bigger thing. But where does it fall in terms of your focus and your prioritization?
Yeah, great question. I still do have that TCG store as well. I sell something 1 or 2 times a day, but that's 5 minutes of my time. But I would say that Amazon is number 1. I would say eBay historically has been number 2. I would say now it's probably number 3, and Bricklink has taken its place. Parting out sets does take a little bit of time, even with tools and technology. So I would say Bricklink is now number 2, and that was intentional. Inside the group when we had our end of year call, I was preaching that I want to simplify my life, and all these marketplaces was too much for one person. Oh, by the way, I have a 9-to-5 job too that I really enjoy. So simplifying my life, eBay is definitely going to take the biggest of back seats. But, if I get damaged product, boxes that I can't sell on Amazon, I'll still be listing there. I'll still be cross-listing any notable books that I can't sell on Amazon. Same thing with any minifigures that I have. So it'll still serve a function, but it's not going to be my priority. If you're selling on eBay and want to do it well, you got to post something new every day. You got to stay on top of things. The algorithm likes consistency, and I didn't feel good about my consistency. So that's why it's taken a back seat.
Yeah. And I think with eBay as well, there's great things about, like, there's great benefits to having the control over everything, like the images and the descriptions and the titles and everything. But there's also there's also a great thing about other platforms like Amazon and Walmart where you just set the price and the sales will come. So that means you can automate more. It means you can use better tools. It also means it's faster, right? But I agree, there's always going to be a place for eBay in my business as well.
Certainly.
So you work a full-time job, and so do I, which, some people who watch the channel probably think I'm full-time. Actually, one of my favorite things about Lego investing is my ability to do it as a side gig. Like I can't think of another side gig where I can do it on the side of a full-time job, make the same money for the same amount of time, because the beauty of it is that it really doesn't need to take up every waking hour, right? And that's what I love about it. So, but it's also not just like stocks where you just put money in and that's it. Like there's work involved. We are building a business. We are building an e-commerce business. So how has that been for you in terms of running this on the side of your full-time job? What is how do you fit everything into your week? What does that look like?
Sure. I want to start by saying you're right. You hit on something very important. Folks think that this is a passive income. It certainly is not. I want to call that out. You develop good processes. You continue to send in stock to Amazon warehouse. It does, get passive that way, but there's certainly a lot of work, investment, both time and money upfront you have to do. So I want to say that first of all. But how do I balance things? I have a dry erase board in my kitchen, or a schedule of things I want to do. Hold myself accountable, so I do the things. Once a week, I'll watch some TV and create boxes to send out. Same thing if I'm parting out sets on Bricklink or listing on eBay. I try to do multiple things at once, so that doesn't make it seem like work that way. Like I said, holding oneself accountable, writing things down, being visual, like that'll help you achieve whatever task. Yeah,
absolutely. Like that actually makes a big impact for me as well as making lists. I'm a list person.
You have to.
Love that stuff. And you work, so your job, you mentioned to me offline, was like in e-commerce, right? So you've kind of been around the block with e-commerce and stuff. And like, how has that been helpful to you with building e-commerce businesses on the side?
It has. Online marketplaces, so many folks, even in, the industries, call it the future, but turns out it's actually the present. It's happening now. So, learning the various systems that we have to live in, Amazon being one of them, just learning heuristic type things that you have to do just to be successful, holding oneself accountable, like I said, making lists, dashboarding, tracking sales, treating yourself like a business, a multi-billion-dollar corporation and you as a person. There are a lot of commonalities, and if you can steal those ideas and apply it to yourself, you're only going to be successful. I know that might sound intimidating, but even if you're just starting out, make a list, make an inventory of what you have, and log your hours so you know how long you're working on this per week, and what your sales look like. Just simple things like that.
I love that approach. It's not often enough that I hear people approach it like that, right? Which is like Lego investing is a fun. It's almost too much fun sometimes, that people forget that it's a business and they treat it like a hobby. You were in our altitude coaching program last summer, and one of the very first things we did intentionally was, all right, we're gonna come in and we're gonna have the ugly talks first, right? We're gonna talk about whether you're treating this as a business or not. That means, do you have a business credit card? Do you have a business bank account? Are you set up as a business, like officially? Do you have an EIN tax number? And those things scare people, right? Those are things that people don't want to talk about because they just want to talk about what's the cool set to go buy right now. But the way I love to think about that stuff is it sets you up to, there's a couple of different benefits. Firstly, you have real financial benefits of doing that, because business credit cards are amazing. Like, I've gotten so much free stuff from having business credit cards. They're actually really good for your profits. But then there's a mindset thing that happens. Like, as soon as you have an official business registered, you're like, for me at least, right? I can't speak for everyone, but for me, like, my mind I just had a mental shift immediately. I was like, all right, so I'm not just a Lego fan who's getting an extra set to pay for my collection anymore. Like, I'm building this into a business. Like, this is a real thing. And I just had a real shift. And when I started calling it a business to myself, not even to anyone else, just like telling myself that I'm now running a business. That's all it took, was literally registering it. And the registration takes like a half hour. Like, it's a super quick and easy thing. A lot of new Lego investors shy away from doing it. They probably think that it's more complicated than it needs to. I think, like, there's companies out there that will tell you, oh, we'll register your business for you and we'll charge you $200. That's how I did it the first time. I paid a company called Inkfile to do it for me. And then when I registered my second business, I realized, like, oh, that took 30 minutes. Like, actually, probably more like 15 minutes. Why did I pay Inkfile $200 to do that for me? It's actually so simple. Yeah. And as soon as you do that registration, you can go and open a business bank account and a business credit card. And when you have those things, you get extra benefits. You can separate your purchases into a different account, so you can easily see what your purchases were. And then it all starts to be streamlined and make more sense. But during those conversations with Lego investors, I find that vast majority have not done it, have not, set up a business yet, or have not done the bank account, or they're missing some part of that step. Or they have done part of it or whatever, but it's very rare to talk to someone that's just like, look, come in straight away and just treat this like a business from the beginning. Did you find the same thing? Did you find that there's a mental gain from doing it?
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. I suffer from decision paralysis, and right. I'm sure a lot of folks do as well. You only lose when you don't do the thing. So literally just start. and if you're going to treat this as more than a hobby, you need to be accountable again, and take the next step. Get the business bank account. Do not commingle. It's not financial advice, but don't commingle your funds with your business funds. You're able to budget that way. Unless you have an unlimited budget, you need to not overspend. But having a business credit card points. We have a bunch of ways to save money that we talk about in the group. But there's ways to really start, really small and compound really quickly. So do the thing. Just do it. Just start.
One of the other things I wanted to kind of hear from you about is really, like, over the last couple of years, as you've been building this business up, what are some of the things that you think were instrumental? Like, what are some of the skill sets that you had to build? Some of the aha realizations that you had? I think you just mentioned one of them around, like, you can learn ways to save money on inventory. That's obviously huge. Like, you can expand on that, or you could give me another. Is there anything that comes to mind if I were to ask you, like, what's something that was just vital for you to learn to be able to make this successful?
Yeah, definitely a couple things. I think I'll take your lead. Honestly, stacking as many legal savings as you can on buying your stock. Very, very often do any big box retailer put something on sale. You can be a member, like a Walmart Plus member or Amazon Prime member. You can, buy discounted credit cards, gift cards. You can use your credit card. There's a bunch of plugins that'll stack. And honestly, even if you're saving 1-2%, that extrapolates over a year. And that's a ton of savings. I had mentioned this earlier, but you only win when you buy cheaply. Yes. You build in the savings. Let's say you buy something that this is my number one pick of the year, and it doesn't pan out. They're stocked for 6 months after retirement. They're zombie stock. You're still probably going to win. You're still going to make your money back. You're still going to make a profit because you've taken the care. You've bought things at a discount. You've diversified. You can sell, on Facebook Marketplace. You can save X amount of fees by not selling on eBay or Amazon. Just be really smart. And the other thing I do want to mention is networking. Very fortunate that I met you, Shane. That I've been a part of not only Ignite but the Altitude group, which is advanced selling, but local. I've networked up with a couple local folks. One of them is my buddy Samson. I've known him for about 15 years. I played Magic the Gathering with him. He and I would travel all over, and turns out we both love Lego. We're always looking out for deals for each other. He sells on Facebook Marketplace exclusively, so it doesn't counteract with what I do. He then introduced me to a gentleman, Gerald. He's basically our distributor. He's got nationwide connections. He pretty much sells on eBay. So again, we're not conflicted in where we sell as well. So long story short, we can all win being part of a community, whether it's locally or via, calls like you and I do. Just do it. Do not be the lone soldier on this.
100%.
Everyone knows something you don't know. And that's something I live by.
Yeah. Like that is so important. Everyone knows something that you don't know. And we've been running the Ignite Inner Circle for now 3 years, I think. And we do like our calls every month. And what I've realized during that time is there's people who come into the calls for the first time and they're new Lego investors. And like some people would default to thinking, oh, you're new to Lego investing, you don't know anything, right? Like you need to just learn from us. I've realized, or I've come to see it as like, oh, you're new to Lego investing, but you're expert in something else that probably applies to Lego investing, and you've probably got a lot to contribute and to teach us, because we've seen people come in who have been brand new to Lego investing, but are accountants or are really good with technology or have a ton of advanced e-commerce knowledge, like you, right? Come in from working your day job at e-commerce with all sorts of different platforms, and then even if you're new to Lego, like the knowledge that you bring to the table is so far advanced in so many different ways. We have someone in the group who ran a marketplace buying and selling gift cards and is like a complete pro with discounted gift card strategies. We have people who are massive travel hackers and know everything about credit card points you could ever imagine, and have done trainings in the group or like teaching people how to save like $10,000 on just from buying your Lego on a certain credit card, right?
Nope.
So don't look at everybody as someone who has knowledge that you don't have. And I just like to look at the world that way. Like, yeah, they may not know about, the minifigures in the new Barad-dûr Lord of the Rings set, right? Because they're not Lego fanatics, or they haven't grown up around this stuff, but they have some skill set that can be very, very valuable. And when you come in with a community and everyone has something that they can bring to the table, and then there's a culture of sharing in that community, and like everyone wants to help each other, you have the opportunity to learn. And again, bringing it back to what I said earlier about 40 years ago, running a business would be a very different game. When you have that opportunity to go into something like that and just watch everybody else with all these different skill sets and what they're doing and what they're teaching, what they're talking about, like, tell me this is not the best ever time we've had to build a business and make money online. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's crazy. And selfishly, I'd love to learn, just like hear your thoughts on how has the Ignite community and the altitude coaching program been helpful for you as you've been learning, as you've been growing your business?
Tremendously. Just the couple of folks you had mentioned, those classes, 101 classes, if you will, blew me away, frankly. I'm like, oh, I'm like, just the, thousands of dollars I've gotten in bonus from credit cards has been huge. And I've pretty much, reinvested that into the business. So that was huge. Frankly, the bots you have been awesome. And the altitude, gosh, what was it? Was it 3 months? It seemed both longer and shorter than that at the same time. Just seeing folks, a nice handful of folks all committed to the same goal of it's different goals, but we all were unified and growing our businesses. That just took me so far. Again, the accountability for me personally, I don't know, I can't speak for everyone else, but made me a lot more accountable. Hey, if I've got a shipment coming in, I want to inventory that right away, not having it sitting by my door, for 2 weeks. Check it in, inventory it, find the stuff when you can sell it. It's just, the accountability just goes so far, and it's blended in my personal life as well. So thank you for that.
Yeah, I agree with you. I feel the same way. I work so much better when I'm just like with a group and we're achieving the same stuff, and then we get to talk about it. So like doing my inventory, the stuff that bores me, it doesn't feel so boring when, tomorrow we're going to talk to each other about what we achieved, and I'm going to talk about, how I did it. So the altitude group, for anyone who's watching, who wants to learn more about that, is actually closed right now. We only run it once a year, and it won't be opening until July. So it'll be starting in July, and we'll open enrollments probably in June. But that is a coaching program where we have a team of coaches who are very experienced in e-commerce and in Lego investing, who have calls every week and get into your business with you and help you to build your business and help you to actually grow, you know, and hit your goals. So it's closed right now, but you know, we'll release information when the time comes. Kevin, I'd love to kind of talk a little bit more about, just to kind of start to close things out, but make sure that we hit on what your ambitions are for your business. Like what do you really want to achieve over the next, let's say, like 5 years with this? Do you ever have a goal of going full time, or for you, is it like this is a beautiful side business that you want to grow to a certain amount?
Sure. I'm going to continue to do this no matter what, as long as it doesn't feel like actual work. You know, there is work that has to be put in, but I never consider this as work. This is so much fun, even though it is a business. So I'm going to do that until I feel like this is a drag. As far as the next 5-10 years, I'm getting really close to the $50,000 club. I think that'll be an easy hit. I need to do some more smart buying this year, but I think I can hit it maybe this year. Don't hold me accountable. Don't don't message me December 31st, see if I hit it. But no, I really want to expand things. I've got an extra room here in my house that is my warehouse. I eventually want to move that to an official storage unit or warehouse, if it makes sense. And just continue to simplify my life. I want to have a really successful Bricklink store as well. So, 50,000 plus on Amazon, and, maybe a sale a day type Bricklink store as well.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Yeah. You'll get there. I've no doubt. And again, just to clarify for anyone who's not aware, so the 50K Club is an award that we have. I don't have one of those next to me, but I do have the 6-figure award right here. So inside of the Ignite group, we give awards. We like to celebrate people's wins. And when you get to 50K in a year, which Kevin will be doing this year,
the internet's forever. Oh no.
Heck yeah. Well, I'm rooting for you, man. It's been great seeing your journey so far. Again, it's like in our group, we have people of all different levels and different like kind of backgrounds. And some people come in with like a big, like they sold their home and they have 500K of cash sitting in the bank, and they come in heavy and they go straight into Lego investing. And other people kind of build it over the course of a couple of years. So watching you build your current 30K inventory into 50K and then into 75K and then into 100K is going to be amazing. Like, I'm really excited to kind of see your growth and to continue working with you. Thank you for taking the time to be here and to share your journey. I guess just to close out, if there was one tip you would give to someone who is brand new, who's, Kevin, I'm thinking about starting this thing that you're doing, like, what's the one big tip? What would you say?
I'm going to cheat and give you 3 small ones. Just start, network, whatever that means to you, and then believe in compounding. Compounding is one of the most, it's a force of nature. 10 becomes 20, 20 becomes 40, so on and so forth. Just trust the process and be willing to learn.
I love that. And I think you just reminded me, I think I'll make a full video for YouTube about compounding. I talk about it all the time in our groups and stuff, but on YouTube, I don't know that I've really properly explained how important it is, because it is so crucial to everything that we do in Lego investing. Even if you have a down year and your return on investment is only 50% and you expected 80%, when you map that out over 5 years, even if you were getting 50% every year, the results are going to be astounding. And I think it's important for people to see and understand that, because compounding is, like you said, a force of nature. Kevin, I really enjoyed this. Yeah. Thank you for taking the time. Hopefully we'll have you back on the channel, and we'll, continue to make content together, because, you have a lot to share. So I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And I'll see you inside the group.
Yep. See you at the end of the month. Thanks, Jane. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.